On a smooth Tuesday afternoon. How's everyone doing? It's the teddy bear. Welcome to the zone of LOTL Radio Night Tracks. And today's artist spotlight gifted singer, songwriter, the visionary. Lord have mercy. The super talented Meresha is joining us today. My queen, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. Yeah, it's a beautiful day today. Thank you for the nice introduction.
Oh, it is my pleasure and well deserved. I have had an opportunity to go back to your 2017 album, Into the Dreamland, and to see where you were 5 years ago and where you're at now as a songwriter, a visual artist is incredible. And
Oh,
I
thank
want
you.
and I wanted to ask you, what are some of the things that you attribute to your growth as a performer and as a songwriter?
I guess a lot of the traveling I've done since back then. I've lived in many different places since 2017. I released that EP when I was in college in Boston,
Okay.
and yeah, I was studying music, and then I released this. And since then, I've lived in Berlin, and now I'm living in Florida. And I've met so many different people and so many different artists, and listened to a lot of techno when I was in Berlin, and got inspired by just the different visuals and the different expressions there. Everyone's really free in Berlin, so that really inspired me to also become even more free with my expression. And that is one of the biggest inspirations, I would say.
One of the things that I've noticed because I grew up in the era with David Bowie when he started out with the Spiders from Mars, and he was a visual artist that I've never seen before in my life, not even since this time. And I see that the things that you do from a video concept remind me a lot of what he used to do. Also, I'll give a lot of love to Robert Smith from The Cure.
Oh,
Yeah, you remind me so much of that. When you go into as far as making the songs and creating the songs are one thing, but creating a video is a whole different thing. What are some of the things that you visualize before you come up with an actual concept on making a video to accompany a particular song?
well, usually I see the video right away when I'm making the song. When I'm
Okay.
like in my vocal booth recording, then I usually start to see the video. But for example, for Trouble, one of the recent videos I put out, I made that song with my friends. It was actually a beat they were gonna throw away, and I went into their studio and I listened to it, and I was like, I'm gonna put vocals on this because I really like it, and let's see what happens. So, and that was still during the pandemic. So everyone was really anxious to get out, and we've had enough time in our little music studios at that point, and we just wanted to meet people. So I made this song about wanting to get out of your bubble and have some trouble.
It seems to me you have, I'd like to call it a interplanetary energy on stage. You really do. What is it like for you to actually get out and perform and give so much of yourself to a live audience?
Well, it's really important for me to give my all when I'm on stage because that is my job. When I'm up there, to entertain people and to not suppress any part of me that wants to come out. And that's always a learning process because I can feel very many different ways when I'm performing. Like if I'm tired, I guess, yeah, it's something I'm still learning because I want to always be myself, but also I want to give the best energy that I possibly can.
Right. But I think that's one of the things that I find so refreshing about, not all, but a large amount of artists transparency. We have our good days and we don't have our good days. And
Hmm.
being able to go on the stage and perform knowing that I may be able to touch some people that may be going through a worse situation or having a rougher day than I am, and see the smiles on their face. What is that energy like when you get that kind of feedback from so many of the fans who really, really love your music?
Yeah, it's amazing when people tell me that, like they come up to me after the show and they said they really loved my energy and that I inspired them. Because I don't really perceive it always when I'm performing. I can't tell if they're, because some people don't dance, they just watch, and I can't tell if they're enjoying it.
Okay.
So it's
Okay.
really nice to get this feedback, to know that I am doing it right, and it's just a reassurance that I should keep going and performing, because that's what I love to do.
Well, it definitely resonates in your performance. And when you did American Boy, and I'm watching you perform, and it's like the way that you move and dance, it's like it almost comes across as just you by yourself. It's just a
Hmm.
feeling, a vibe that you get, and it's a wonderful. Can you give the audience at least a glimpse on what it's like for you when you're in that type of mental state, that euphoria where it's almost like you're by yourself?
Yeah, I just try to embody each song as much as I can, and like I said, not suppress any of the moves that I might want to make. And it helps to be wearing something comfortable on stage.
Right.
So I never wear heels.
Okay.
I like to be barefoot if possible, if the stage allows. Am I really close to the camera? It seems like
Yeah, there you go. There you go. You got it. There you go.
it's like zoomed in.
You still look fantastic. You don't even worry about it. And for those who are tuning in late, shame on you. But the teddy bear does forgive you. We're being joined by the super talented Meresha today. Now you're constantly releasing music. This coming Friday, you're releasing another single called Memory. Can you tell the listeners about this up and coming song that you're releasing this coming Friday?
Yes, so I'm gonna be dropping songs pretty regularly because I'm making an EP, and it's just gonna stack until the EP is fully released.
Okay.
So this next one is called Memory, and it's basically the other side of Greatest Time, which is the song I just released. You guys should
Right.
listen to it so you know what I'm talking about. But that song is about mm, looking back at an amazing time you spent with a person and just feeling really grateful for it, and having to separate, or at least for now, and but having hope that it's for the better, and that our paths might cross again. So Greatest Time is about the positive side of this, and Memory, it's also positive, because all of my songs are positive, to be honest.
Right.
Like in the end, but but this one is like very passionate to me. The feeling is almost like desperation,
Right.
and
Right.
I made it with this feeling, so I think it's probably infused in the recording. So I'm excited for people to hear it and see how it compares to the previous song, because it's about the same topic but a different way of looking at it.
Do you find it's even more as far as continually pushing yourself to be better? Do you constantly challenge yourself to be better?
Yes, every day I challenge myself to be better in many different ways. I'm gonna just move back a little bit.
There you go. There you go.
um, yes, I try to learn new things every day, not only just in music, but I try to be a better socializer so that I can easily approach people in the music business or elsewhere, and you know easily make connections and be able to collaborate, because that's really important in
Without
the music
question.
business, but in life.
Without question. So would you consider yourself somewhat of an introvert?
Well, I did a personality test and it said
Okay.
I'm a mediator.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I don't know if
Okay.
you've done that.
No, I haven't done. That's interesting. Tell I mean, tell the listeners out there what would you consider being a quote unquote a mediator?
So this is from the 16 personalities test.
Oh,
You can do
okay,
it. You can Google it, and you can find out and tell me,
okay,
and tell
okay,
both of us.
okay.
But a mediator, Björk.
Yes.
Yeah, when you finish the test, it says that she is also a mediator. I saw. So it's a person that wants everything to be good, just wants to make peace.
Right. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. That's positive. That's definitely, and as you said, your music is based upon positive energy, positive vibe. I
Yeah.
mean, your background from where you come from Poland to Florida, and you have traveled and had an opportunity to see so many different things, so many influences. Who were some of the artists that influenced you when you were growing up? You said, "Wow, I can really relate to that particular artist."
Yeah. Well, when I was growing up, especially when I moved to Florida, um, my dad's parents were here, so my dad had his record collection here, and he
Hmm.
shared with me. He gave me a lot of it, and I started to listen to it in my room. So there was Jimi Hendrix, Led Zeppelin, Parliament Funkadelic.
Okay.
There was
Okay.
a lot of stuff, Nirvana. So it was
Okay.
a lot of rock stuff.
Okay.
And I was really into rock at this point. I was also a big Paramore fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing
Um,
bad.
but actually, my first concert ever, I don't know if you know, because I always say this, but it was the Black Eyed Peas. It was in Warsaw. Uh,
Really?
yeah.
What was that like for you?
That was quite extraordinary. I wish I could remember the event better, but it was so long ago. I was like 10.
Okay.
But I just remembered that I really loved what Fergie and Will.i.am were doing on stage, how they were just like communicating with each other and the audience, and they were so confident and dancing and singing. And that's what I realized at that moment, that that's what I wanted to do. So then I started to take singing lessons and guitar lessons.
You do so many things. You play instruments, you write, you produce, you have complete creative control over your music. What are the things that you hope to accomplish in the new year? I mean, 2023 is right around the corner. Have you
Mhm.
set any particular goals for yourself?
I don't really set yearly goals, or well, at least not right now. I'm not setting any New Year's resolutions because it's
Okay.
still a bit to go. For the end of this year, I still have a lot of plans to set up a tour. It's probably going to happen at the probably in January. We're
Okay.
going to do a tour mostly of the East Coast, and I want to continue working on my music. I keep changing my studio setup here.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna be releasing new singles. I think it's every 2 weeks.
Wow, that's impressive. That's impressive. Like I
Not
said,
until the end of the year, but until the EP comes out
okay,
fully.
okay, okay. Like I said, the feedback has been fantastic. The fans, your supporters, they love your music. Social media has been very advantageous for independent artists to get their music out there. For you, is there any particular artist that you would like to really work with now?
Oh yes, there's quite a few. I would love to work with Moses Samani,
Okay, okay.
um, and I would love to make a song with Disclosure at some point.
Well, we putting it out there. I mean, I don't see I don't see any reason why that wouldn't happen. And remember, family, to get all the latest updates, make sure you stop by Meresha's official website. That's Meresha.com. Okay. That's www.meresha.com. You have a wonderful store of different things that a lot of the fans could purchase. I mean, it's an incredible website. So, what made you decide to put a website together so very personable, where people can go and have an opportunity to get particular albums, different music, things of that nature. What made you say you wanted to stay connected in that way to your fan base?
Well, I think physical objects are very sentimental, and a lot of people it means a lot to a lot of people. Like when I have something that like an object I shared with someone from my past, I always think of this person. So for them to have something of mine, they can feel probably more connected with me, which is
Okay.
really cool. And I believe in I well, vinyl is coming back, so I'm probably gonna release things on vinyl at some point.
Okay.
Right now on my store I have vinyl CDs, so it's just
Yes.
CDs that look like vinyl, which are pretty cool, and some merch. And I also want to make more merch, some more funky looking things, because I have pretty basic designs which are universal for everyone. I think everyone can wear it and like it, but I
Right.
want to make some more obscure designs.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. You're very artistic. I mean, even now, just conversing with you, it's like your mind is just focused on doing so many different things from a creative aspect. When do you? My thing is, when do you find time to actually record? Because you're doing so many different things. When do you find just sit down and say, you know what, I need to focus because I need to record this music.
Yeah, well, today's one of these days. I will
Okay.
be recording vocals today.
Okay.
So I just do it if it's possible. I like to do it when I feel it, even if a song is not finished, like the production, which is the case right now. I have a song I'm working on, and I just yeah, the ideal time to record it would be when you're feeling all the emotions of the song. So I want to
Okay.
do it. I always try to do it as fast as possible after getting the idea for the song. So
What comes first, lyrics or melody for you?
usually melody. I like to start off with making a beat first,
Okay.
and lay down some chords, some harmony, and then I'll just start singing a melody, and then I'll worry about the final lyrics after.
Okay. Okay. You know, I'm being called, I guess, a kind of stickler or get off my lawn, so to speak. I love live instrumentation. And it's refreshing to see an artist who is so passionate about live instrumentation.
Yeah.
What is the feeling that you get when you just, you know what, on a creative aspect, say, you know, it's one thing to create something in the studio, but it's a completely different beast when you get out on the stage and you have to take it to a completely different level. What's that feeling? What's that vibe? Or how important is it for you to take it to another level in a live performance?
Yeah. So I was using tracks before for my live performances, but it didn't feel right at
Right.
all. And I decided I need a full band. And I would love to keep growing my band. I would love to have brass and everything. I mean, an orchestra would be amazing.
Well, I can definitely see some violins in your band somewhere down the line. I love as far as having a string section, string and horn section is beautiful, especially just meshing that together and being creative and just making something completely different. Now, alien, out of this world, some of the adjectives that I've heard about you. Do you consider yourself a person from another planet when it comes to music, or this is how you see or how you vision things?
Well, when I was younger, I used to think that my alien family was coming to get me.
Okay,
Like
okay.
I genuinely had this intense fear that I was going to be abducted.
Oh, okay. Okay, okay.
um, but I I definitely believe in outer that there's things outside of our planet, living organisms, and probably civilizations even. So it might be possible that some of us have been on different planets before.
Right, right. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. The universe is very vast, and for anyone to be that naive to believe that we're the only ones out here would be, yeah, is not thinking properly. But I love that quality about you. You you express it through your music, you express it through your videos, and your creativity. I cannot wait to see what you are going to be like within the next 5 years. You're
Mm,
definitely going to take it to a completely different level. Hopefully soon you'll come down to
yeah.
Houston and perform, because we would love to see you perform live.
Yeah. So, were you actually doing these interviews live before the pandemic? Because I've only seen the video call ones.
Okay. Actually, we were doing all of our shows as far as our streaming service via Blog Talk Radio. And we made a calculated decision after a 2 year hiatus and said, you know what? It's time that we start doing things from a visual concept, because I believe the interaction with the fans love the artists that we have on the show, and they want to have an opportunity to interact, and we're able to reach people from a wider spectrum in that way. When I
Yeah.
have an artist on the show like yourself, and I have someone from Germany watching this live, and they say, "Well, I'm a huge fan of Meresha, and I get an opportunity to watch her live." And
Yeah.
it's a beautiful. It's to me, doing an interview on the radio is one thing, but it comes across being very generic. But to see someone's face, their emotions, and the feelings that they put into the music is a whole completely different thing. And I have all the respect in the world for what you're doing. So
Thank
again,
you.
hopefully soon you'll come down here and perform. And you said earlier that you guys are you're putting a tour together for the East Coast. What are some of the stops that you're thinking about going on the East Coast on this tour?
Well, we're definitely gonna hit New York again.
Okay.
I had a show in Brooklyn recently, but we might do one or two shows there.
Okay.
And DC, we will. Well, we're thinking of also going to Detroit,
Okay. Okay.
Florida. What else was there? Maybe North Carolina. I don't remember the list right now.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
but yeah, if people let me know where they are and where I should go, then I will put that down and see where I can perform there.
Okay. You know what? I don't think England's ready for you. I honestly believe sooner or later, when you do make a trip to the UK to perform, they're going to fall in love with your music. They really are. Have you ever thought about traveling to the UK and actually perform?
Oh yeah, it's one of my dreams for sure. I have a quite a fan base in the UK. Some really supportive
Hmm.
fans are there, and I love a lot of artists that originate in the UK myself, like FK Twigs,
Right.
James Blake, well, Disclosure. Yeah, a lot of cool artists originate there. So it's a really cool place for experimental music and for alien pop and for yeah,
Yeah,
for
because
all of that.
I've had the pleasure to go to London on two occasions. You know, as far as going to Piccadilly Circus and just the whole underground music and techno music is they love it.
Hmm.
I mean it's on a whole completely different vibe. They just really truly love music, and I've seen so many American artists who love performing over in the UK because
Hmm.
they just love the purity of the music. I think a lot of times here in the States, we have a tendency to be somewhat jaded, spoiled, and
Yeah,
yeah, we don't really appreciate the artistry of music. And I do consider you an artist. So all I ask is that you continue on your journey, progress in being the better version of yourself. Your talent is on another level. And I gotta
thank you.
ask you, if you could go back 6 years ago and have a conversation with yourself, what would you tell the Marisha back then? What would you tell her to get her prepared for right now?
That's a nice question. Um, I I would say to be more disciplined and like spend less time just doing nothing and, and spend more time in your music. Yeah, because 19 was the age where I was off at college, and before college I was producing my music like a maniac.
Okay, okay, okay.
But when I got to college, like all these cool people were around me. Like I was around musicians for the first time in my life, so I just wanted to hang out.
Well,
And that's a
nothing
lot
wrong
of
with that.
that's true. I
There's
mean, it
nothing
was
wrong.
meant to be.
Right. Nothing. I mean, but I mean, and I've heard you say this before. It's all about growth. It's all about growth. The best way to gain experience is through growth, experiencing life. And I see that you love life. You love experiencing life because you share it in your music. And again, I wish you
Yeah.
nothing but the utmost success, continued success
Thank you.
on this journey. It was an honor and a privilege to have you on the show. But again, I'm going to hold you to it. You have to come to Houston and perform one day. You really do. We would love to have you out here. So many wonderful venues that would definitely embrace your music. Definitely.
Mhm.
And thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule and joining us this morning, my queen.
Thank you so much, DJ Teddy Bear, and everyone here.
Thank you so much. And remember, family, again, to get all the latest updates, make sure you stop by Marisha's instant, actually her official website at www.marisha.com. Also catch up with her on Instagram and also on Twitter. And she also has a YouTube channel. Remember the new hit single, of course, Greatest Time. And she has another single that she's dropping this coming Friday called Memory. My queen, much continued success, okay?
Thank you.
My pleasure, my love. The very super talented Mariska, thank you so much for joining the show. It's definitely been a beautiful, Lord have mercy, a beautiful Tuesday some afternoon somewhere, but I hope you got a cup of Java going to get you through the day. It's definitely a beautiful experience. I want to thank everyone for tuning in and tuning out all the negativity. It's definitely been a positive experience. It does the teddy bear's heart good when you have someone who truly appreciates the art form and what it means to be an artist. Lord have mercy. Hey, and if you got a suggestion, if you want a particular artist on the show, as long as it's substance, we appreciate substance. We love quality. Like I said, I'm from that era of music when it was about the music. So that's all that matters. We love you. And if you want to make a donation to the show, of course, be sure to hit me up. Let us know whatever we can do to help you because without us and without you, there's no music. Music is it's a beautiful experience, man. There's no color barriers. It brings everyone, it unites everyone, man. So without you, there's no zone. Definitely no teddy bear. So with that being said, as to all, I want everyone to have a fantastic day. We'll definitely see you on the other side. As in always, keep it soulful here in the zone of LOTL Radio Night Tracks. Lord have mercy.